professors because none of this could have happened without them. So Professor Van Tassel was one of them, and then Professor Redmond and Professor Goldby. I don't know if he's still here or not, but if we could just give them a round of applause because they've done a lot of work. And then I also want to say thank you to my family too, and my church family. You all have been so supportive throughout all of this, and I just appreciate you all a lot. So this work first started with, it wasn't this at all. I started researching Celtic ideas and Celtic cultures, and while I was doing that, everything that the Celtics were learning was about nature. So, if you all know me, you all know I love nature too. So I was trying to make art that was natural, but I wasn't getting outside any. So once I started finally getting outside, I was putting off my art and going hiking and doing things I probably shouldn't have been doing when I should have been making art. And so I was getting behind my artwork. But I finally read a quote by Pablo Picasso that said, learn the rules like a pro so you can break them like an artist. And once I read that, I was like, okay, fine, I'm going to break the rules of art. So I started taking plaster and clay with me when I did my little outdoor excursions, and that's how all of this happened. So my processes and stories for all these pieces are all kind of funny and they're all different. Sometimes I was trespassing when I shouldn't have been. There was one of them, South Holston River. I was kayaking and I had a boat behind my kayak with my plaster and clay. There's just lots of different funny stories that go on with all of them. But my first piece that I started with was Destruction. It's over here. It is a cast of a dead tree, and the coloring on it is actually from the erosion or the the dead stuff on the tree. That's what the coloring is on it. So I thought it was really cool because I didn't do anything to it. The tree just soaked up the plaster, and it was kind of cool. And then South Holston River, like I said before, I was kayaking when I did that one. And then Hater Gap is over here. And this one actually was a wonderful accident. I was trying to find the channels, state park, and if you all haven't been there, it's state forest. But it's this really cool like labyrinth type thing that you can walk in. It's a bunch of rocks. But I was trying to find it and I got lost. And there was no cell service. And I was trying to get cell reception that way I could find the channels. But I found this little creek when I pulled over and got out of my car. And I started taking some pictures and I grabbed the board there. So there's just different stories that go along with all of them. But I was doing what I love, which is going outside and hiking, and I was breaking rules, and I was making art. And while I was creating this, I realized that the natural world is similar to human civilization. So trees they need water to survive, just like we need other people to survive. They go hand in hand. And so I wanted to be able to bring the natural world into an environment where we don't have it usually. So we get stressed out at school or stressed out at work, and we don't get to go hiking or do things that we wanted to do. So I kind of wanted to bring like the natural organization into our organized lives too. So that's all. Is there any questions? Yes.
Can you explain the process of, I guess they're all kind of different, but like pick one piece that you really like doing and kind of explain the process?
So the Snake Creek one is probably the one that you all didn't recognize. This piece is one of my first pieces too. I poured plaster into a creek bed and I let it cure, and then I picked it up, and the little crusties is what was left on the plaster when I picked it up. So I thought that was kind of cool. Every time I did it, I did like 4 or 5 of them. They were all different. One time there was a marble, and another time there was a bottle cap. So it was cool to see like human elements in a natural environment too. So that was kind of neat. And then there was this one isn't a cast of anything. It's called Subtle. But it's just a ceramic vessel that I modeled after the photograph that I had for it. So, is there anything in particular you wanted to know about?
I actually really wouldn't have built this one because I thought that was the last one, so I kind of wondered what
Yeah,
was
that
in
is the last one there.
Did you think that one?
Yeah. Yes, Jack.
How long would you say this project took you?
Well, it's supposed to take all 4 years that you're in the art department. You're supposed to be working the whole time. But I kept changing my idea. So I think this actually started spring break of last semester. So spring break till the end of school is when all these pieces were made. Yeah. Is there any other questions?
I wonder if you could talk about the color on the wall a little bit.
Yes. So in my artist statement, if you've read it, it's over there. I talked about how I wasn't inspired by 4 white walls, and that's why I started going outside with my art. I was just stuck in the studio, and my art wasn't good, so I was trying to make natural things, and I wasn't outside. So I decided to paint the walls partially because of that, and also because I wanted this environment to feel like you were outside, and white walls just wasn't going to do it for this artwork. So that's why I painted the gallery.
Looks good.
I did on purpose. That was not on purpose.
I had something else. So I know it seems to me like the process that you've developed is every bit as much a part of the artwork. And I wondered if you could share with us some of your considerations to the rest of your display here. Because we don't get to see that process as it's happening. And that moment that you're experiencing in your artwork, how did you try to convey that to us here in the gallery, beyond the green walls?
Yeah, so I started out with just the sculptural pieces, and people didn't understand what the sculptural pieces were. Just like I was talking to a few people, and when you discussed it, it was kind of like an I Spy type game. Like you would see the piece, and you would like try to find it in the photograph. So I think the photographs were really needed to understand what the sculptural pieces were. So I decided to take photographs and have sculptural pieces together and display them side by side. That way you would know what they were, and that way you could see them how I seen them when I was making them as well. Does that answer your question?
What about the pedestals?
The pedestals, it's the same thing as the walls. Usually, or not usually, but sometimes you have white pedestals for your 3D sculptural pieces. And I didn't want anything white in the gallery except for what was around the photographs and the top trim. So my grandparents and we built these pedestals, and I just wanted a natural looking pedestal for the artwork. And the artworks, most of them are light colored, so on white pedestal it just wouldn't work well.
How did you do this? Did you put this up in 3D?
That one is actually a cast of that rock there. So there was little seashells on top of the rock. And that one I pressed clay into the rock, and then I brought the clay back to the studio and I poured the plaster into the clay. Was there a question over here?
This piece over here, like your postal card?
Yes. So that piece actually is a twig from that tree. That is actually at the Channel State Forest as well. So when I went there, I got this big cast change. This was also when I was trying to find the channels. I was on the wrong side of the channels, and I was lost again. So I just stopped on a dirt road, and I seen this first tree stump. So I got a cast of it and put it in the back of my car, and I got another cast, and then I seen this little tree, and I thought the tree was really elegant. So I picked a twig off of it and brought it back to the studio and made a little plate out of it.
Nice.
So, thank you. Any other questions?
I have one more thing. I know I'm active tonight.
It's okay.
I am wondering, why is it important to you personally to record these things and share them with others?
Well, personally for me, I love getting out and God's creation, and I believe that there is one true God. So for me, I have to do that just to be able to not be stressed out during the day at school. So I do these things anyway, and they were taking up time from art, so I was trying to pair them together to save time, and then